Great to have you back this morning for the Thursday edition of Community Accent, 8:39 our time. I'm Dallas, along with Miss Kathy Beck. A big thanks to Jason Cordell on the move. His program 3:30 today. A lot of controversy, but a lot of folks saying, "Hey, I agree, and I kind of disagree with some of the stuff that he said." Either way, you got a stance. Everybody's got an opinion, right?
Exactly, and I think it's perfectly fine. That's why we're in this United States of America, to be able to have our opinions. So there's no doubt about that. But, yes, Jason did a fantastic job, and we really appreciate him coming forward.
And another great guest joining us in studio right now, Michael Poole, is back. Man, it's been a year since we've talked, right?
It has been a year, yes, sir.
The ATA Martial Arts here in Lancaster. You are a not only the owner, but a certified instructor as well, right?
Correct. My wife and I are the owners of the school. We're both the certified instructors there. We have a couple of people that help us out on the floor and behind the counter. But, my wife and I are basically the owners and run it all. So
we're going to talk a little bullying today, right?
Yes.
I think we touched on this briefly the last time that you were in here. And just to kind of throw a stat out there for you folks that are listening at home, if you have no idea how to encompass this topic this morning, think of it in reference that, over 160,000 kids will miss school every day just due to the fear of maybe an attack or the intimidation alone of other students. That's scary.
Yep.
That's very scary.
It's a terrifying statistics when we start looking at that stuff. The national average, the ATA actually conducted some surveys throughout our schools and throughout our organization, and we looked at some of the statistics of students being bullied, and the national average of students being bullied in school, overall national, 17% of students get bullied in schools. We saw that students that were turning to us, about 27% of our students that come into our schools, our martial arts schools, are having problems with bullying and kids lacking confidence and things like that. So pretty staggering numbers.
Mike, I'm just going to stop you right there because, again, I have to say something.
She's putting the brakes on.
Putting the brakes on. And I know it's a perception, and I know that it's like the conversation we had with Jason in the church. Things must change sometimes. And, again, I have this perception of martial arts. One thing of being, self-control, having an opportunity to work with someone and to learn. And, I see a lot of good things about this. But when I think of bullying, the first thing I think about is you want to stop it if you're the child. You don't want it happening to you. But the first thing I think of is, so we're going to bring our child to you, and you're going to teach them how, to do martial arts, and then the next time something happens on the playground, he, chops them down. And I know that's not what this is all about, is there? So just me and others out there, just relieve us up front right away that this is not going to be the conversation.
No, absolutely not. Probably the biggest thing that we teach the kids in all of our classes is the last thing you want is physical conflict, because nobody wins in a fight. Nobody wins in a fight. We don't want the kids punching at each other. We don't want the kids making physical contact. 90% of the self-defenses that we teach in our school are mainly releases. How do I get this person to stop touching me? How do I get this person to get away from me? I don't want them touching me. I don't want this contact, and that goes for our kids and teens and adults as well. We teach releases more than how to hit somebody anymore. So
more verbal, more mindset?
A lot of it is teaching kids confidence, teaching people how to deal with environments anymore. There's a lot that happens around us nowadays, and one of the nice things about martial arts, and I actually had this conversation with one of our adults last night, was even while we learn a traditional form, we learn that in an environment where there's still a lot going on. There's people yelling in our classes, there's instructors watching you, and then we force kids and adults to come to our testings, and we make them do it in front of others. And part of that is just teaching them that confidence and how to deal with a stressful environment and get away from dealing with things emotionally. And that's a lot of what bullying prevention is that we talk about, is getting rid of those emotional conflicts that you're having and start working about how to think through the process, as opposed to just dealing with like my anger or my fear or all the other things that come out of me when someone's picking on me or someone's bullying me at schools.
282,000 students are physically attacked in schools every month. Another scary statistic. But let me kind of throw this out here. Yourself, in conjunction with the ATA, especially here in Lancaster, have kind of tag teamed with Olea's bullying prevention program to create one of the most, I think, comprehensive and interactive DVD videos.
Correct.
To help kids face this topic. This is a really, really cool DVD that gives descriptions, it gives scenarios.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it's like you said, in reference to Kathy's questions, it's not so much about, let's go out and let's just start beating people up.
Correct.
It's more the mental things. I promise I'm not going to bully others. I'll try to help kids who are being bullied, or try to include other kids. I mean, these are all mental aspects of keeping yourself away from that kind of thing.
Correct, absolutely. The Agent G system, which is what you were talking about, was designed. The bully prevention system comes from Oveus, which was worked out with ATA, and the Oveus system is great. They go into schools and help school systems kind of understand how to deal with bullying. But the ATA, being that we were outside of schools, felt we needed some sort of program to help our kids that were coming to us and having bullying problems. How do we teach them, how to handle the situations when we're not there at the schools? And ATA came up with a great bully prevention system, and in the past year we've tied in the use of Agent G, which is a great character to help kids kind of understand and relate a little bit. It's a great interactive system that we use at the school, and when we do our bully prevention seminars, the Agent G system is a wonderful system. It really does get you kind of interactive with how everything works, and then in the end, we want you to become what we call an ATA defender, which is, I understand the system, I understand how to build that confidence in myself, and, maybe through taking martial arts classes, I can now go out and help other kids that are being bullied or having those bullying problems. And that, we were talking about some of the statistics. The kids that come to us that complete our white belt through black belt system in our martial arts schools, their bullying, when we talked about bullying, and when you did those surveys, we found that after they completed our martial arts system from white to black belt, they had 64% less problems with bullying in themselves and in schools.
Do you find, Michael, that a lot of kids that are being bullied have the low self-esteem issues, and this is why maybe one of these types of programs may be a building block for uplifting that?
Well, a lot of the kids that come to us that are having the bullying problems are usually, I hate to say that they're stereotyped, but they are. The people that are bullying, and I know that these go into kind of some of the myths about it, that it's just boys being boys, or, kids will be kids, that type of stuff. But, and they always say, well, the bully has low self-esteem, that's why he's picking on other kids. Well, they did this research, the Oveus system did, and they found that the kids that are bullying others actually have higher self-esteem and higher self-confidence than the kids that are being bullied.
So it's kind of a control thing, right?
Absolutely. They found that they want to continue this motion of control, and they're controlling those other kids, and they obviously look for an easy target, and that becomes where the kids that have the lower self-esteem, the lower self-confidence, were the ones that they were targeting. So they feel like they have a problem themselves personally with this low self-esteem. The bully finds that weak spot and continues to press it.
Well, we're talking about Agent G, bullying prevention program, and this is like I said, a wonderful DVD. Is this available? Can folks get their hands on a copy of this or not?
If they come talk to us, we can. We can actually get them a student copy, which is what you have there. It's a great little DVD system. It runs right through how the whole bully prevention problem, or the whole bully prevention system, works. If they'd like to actually take part in the whole Agent G system, we're actually holding a seminar at our school on September 8th from 1 to 3. It's a free seminar. All you got to do is just give us a call at the school and register, and it's going to be great. It's a 2-hour whole thing, and I get to run with all the interactive stuff that goes with it. So you get me chasing you around the floor with our bully stick and all kinds of other fun stuff.
We have some fun with this, Miss Kathy.
I think we could. Can I chase Dallas around with the bully stick?
Absolutely. Get you in a white robe and a black belt. We're talking with Michael Poole. He's with the Lancaster Martial Arts ATA Association. Get some more information on the Agent G DVD, also the seminar that's coming up, and some really cool facts about bullying that you may or may not know. We'll talk a little bit more in depth when we come back and finish up for the last and final segment of the Thursday edition of Community Accents right here on Refreshing 90.9 WFCO. 8:51. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to Community Accent, the Thursday edition. I'm Dallas, along with Miss Kathy DeBeck, our co-host this morning, and we're talking with Michael Poole, who is with Lancaster Martial Arts here in the city of Lancaster. Really cool program, especially, Kathy, we talk about the Agent G DVD on how to teach kids to, at least prepare themselves or how to deal with bullying situations. What are you thinking about the program here so far?
Well, I'm learning a lot. I'm still interested in seeing the separation of how you can sort of talk yourself down from a bullying situation, and I know that's what Michael would encourage all of his teammates or classmates to do. I just remember bullying always being there. It was something that always happened. There was always the kid on the playground who was the bully, and you just sort of knew that he was the one, and you watched out for him and tried to stay out of his way. But it's gone so much further than that today, hasn't it, Dallas? It's not just a kid on the playground any longer.
Well, and it's not. And Michael, I think you're smiling. You can associate with this. I can associate with it. I remember those days on the playground.
Funny part is one of the first things we talk about is what we call hot zones, and it pre-references where those areas happen. And we talk with the kids interactively and parents, and we ask them to tell us where bullying happens, and it's usually playgrounds, hallways, bathrooms, cafeteria, on the bus. And the next question I usually tie in with that is, in those areas, are there more adults or more kids? And it's always, there's more kids there. Obviously the bully's not, if it's a kid that's self-confident, he knows what he's doing, he knows what he's doing is wrong. So they look for those zones where they're not going to get in trouble.
Well, we talked during the break, and again, your program is to teach kids, as Miss Kathy said, to help diffuse a situation by talking their way out of it.
Absolutely.
Don't divert to violence unless you absolutely have to.
Absolutely.
The DVD that we're talking about this morning, Agent G, again, this is a wonderful project that's been put together to teach kids how to effectively deal with those type of situations. You recently took this on the road. You attended a seminar, right?
I did. We have our World Championships every year in June, and in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I attended World Championships and actually competed for World Champ in weapons this year, but didn't quite make it. But we went through the Agent G system there, and it was a lot of fun. I was really impressed with the way we tied the Agent G system into some of our current bully prevention information. We've held bully prevention seminars before, and the Agent G system really ties it in with kids, makes it kind of a more impactful system for them, teachers and counselors and anybody else that would be interested in this. This is something that we can do, like you said, a little more on the road. We're happy to do this type of seminar in schools, in churches, and community areas. If it's something that system people would like to do, just give us a call. We're happy to do it.
We're all aware that, especially over the last few years, that, bullying especially have taken things to a much higher level in terms of violence in schools. We see the school shootings popping up left and right, which is, horrific. 86% of students said other kids picking on them, making fun of them, or bullying them causes teenagers to turn to lethal violence in school. Another very scary statistic. This isn't the only type of bullying, though. There's other things that go on that can lead to this, right?
Well, the problem is that and I don't have again the statistics on how it all ties together, unfortunately. But the problem is we're very well connected people nowadays, and that includes our children. I have 3 boys. My boys are on Facebook. They watch videos on YouTube. They have the social media available to them, just like 90% of my students do. And we as adults don't really think about it, but that takes bullying to a whole new level. If I want to pick on a kid at school, I don't just have to wait till the next day to do it. I can do it from school, and now I can go home and social media create those bullying situations and make it a little more prevalent for that student all the time.
Lancaster ATA Martial Arts. You are the owner. You are a certified instructor here.
Yes, sir.
You've got programs running everything from Tiny Tigers. This is ages 4 through 6.
Yep.
All the way up to a program that Kathy and I, might be interested in, the teen and adult programs, and then you've got the middle of the road, the Karate for Kids, which is like 7 through 12.
Correct.
Talk to us a little bit about the programs itself. If when someone signs up, what's the beginning? I mean, I have no idea. I don't know how to do karate. I'm not a black belt. Where do you start with somebody like myself or a little kid?
The best place to probably start for people is first off would be to stop in at our school. Martial arts schools today are a lot different than they have been over the past 10 years, 20 years. The minute you walk into our school, you're going to see a difference. We have a nice big open lobby. We have well lit. We offer Wi-Fi for parents while they're waiting in our lobby for their kids to complete classes. But it's a lot different than it was. Our Tigers and our kids, which are our younger groups, these guys all start as white belts. We work on very basic concepts. We talk about black belt attitude a lot. For our Tigers, our little guys, the 4 to 6 year olds, that's standing at attention, not touching others, following directions. In class, it's a lot of gross motor skills. The karate kids, it's learning how to work with others, following directions. How do we make the social interactions? And in class, it's it might be through holding targets or through using our I call them motivation sticks, but it's our target sticks basically we use with each other. For teens and adults, it's a little bit more interactive. The teens and adults want to do more self-defensive items, more hands-on. We do a little bit more intense workouts, things like that. So,
give us a crash course if you can in bullying prevention. If your whole thesis and what you strive to get across to these kids is to diffuse a situation by talking your way out of it, what do you teach these kids? How do you teach something like that?
Well, the bully prevention seminar that we're going to hold is a 2-hour seminar. It takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours to go through the entire thing, and it covers a lot of information. The first thing that we cover really is some of those mentality things that we talked about, the black belt attitude, how do I deal with others, how do I show a little bit of courage and respect and do those things. And then we get into bullying. We talk about pre-phrasing where it's going to happen at, and we want to be able to think in that situation. It's just like if we're an adult, we know how to drive, we know how to handle a kind of a stressful situation in the car because it's stuff that we've been taught in a classroom. Well, bullying isn't something that we teach our kids. We teach our kids, you're supposed to be nice to others, and that's how it is. And then they go to schools and they get in trouble because these other kids aren't nice to them. They don't know how to deal with it. Well, the first thing we really talk about is getting into, where's the situation, where's bullying happen, and then we teach the kids to kind of get away from those emotions that happen when somebody bullies us. We want to get away from the fear and anger and things like that. So we start with the calming breath. We start with a set up stance, which is if somebody does move towards us aggressively in a bullying situation, how do I get my hands up? How do I balance my body that if somebody pushes me or backs me against the wall, how do I stance wise defend myself? We get into those situations, and then what are some simple answers back? How do I get away from a situation? What's the point where I do turn and walk away versus backing away controlled. And then from there we talk about, even the end of the system talks about how do I talk to a teacher, how do I talk to an adult. One of the scariest things I thought was statistic-wise, we talked about the people that are bullying others. 6 out of those 10 kids that are bullying others in like middle school and high school will end up with some sort of criminal record by the time they're 21. 6 out of the 10 kids. So it's not just the kids that are being bullied that need help. Society-wise, we got to help the kids that are bullying others. They're headed down the wrong path. Where pushing somebody on the playground is considered bullying, and they might get a slap on the wrist and detention. You push somebody on the street, and now you're looking at assault charges.
Yeah, different scenario.
So it's a lot of work for those kids too.
Miss Kathy, does this change your perception any?
It does. Just from the fact of bullying and martial arts. Now I certainly understand that they go at it at a certain way that lets you. Verbally and probably body language, all kinds of things to let that person know, you're not going to get away with this, but we're going to handle this and we're going to diffuse this right here and now. And it certainly sheds a different light on the topic. I like that.
Well, our guest Michael Poole is with the Lancaster Martial Arts. You guys just right down off of Memorial Drive on 33, right?
Correct. We are just north of Myers. If you take a right out of Myers and head towards Columbus, that next little plaza there next to Amish Oak, where our school's right next to them.
The seminar you spoke of, 1 to 3 p.m. is coming up on September 8th, about 2 weeks away. This is completely free?
Completely free. Anybody can attend it. We probably have 20, 25 people already signed up for it that are both students and people that we talked to when we were at the Lancaster Festival Kids Day.
And I'm assuming if they do so, they get a copy of this
we have
really
all kinds of cool
DVD,
stuff for them. We've got some of the things I've got for you guys today are some of our ATA Defender wristbands. So you guys,
pitch it over here.
You get some cool stuff.
This is cool.
always bring you toys when I come
He
out.
does, man. He brought us toys the last time, so you missed out, Miss Kathy.
I'm a defender.
So,
thank you very much.
We've got a lot of stuff we'll give them and get them set up. And then this isn't just for the kids. This is a seminar that parents need to stay and learn how to deal with it as well. There's a packet of information that goes home with parents with the how do I deal with bullying if my child's being bullied? How do I talk to the school? Because a lot of times the parents don't know how to deal with it either. Their kids come home and they're saying, "Mom, Dad, I'm bullied." They call the school and the school says, "Well, we don't have a record of it." So there's a whole system information for parents as well. Once they go home, how do they handle it with the schools, and how do they continue to track it, things like that.
Well, this may be a nice little prelude to the fact that, hey, if you want to sign up for classes and extend the stay a little bit,
absolutely.
I'm looking at some of the rates and the schedules here. Really, really cheap. I mean, it includes your uniform, your belt, 4 weeks of class. I mean, and the schedules in terms of the different departments here, the different age groups, it varies. You guys have got a wide array of classes here.
We give every belt and every rank 4 different classes a week. One usually starts a little earlier in the day, one a little bit later in the day, one later in the evening, and then there's everybody has a Saturday class available to them as well.
Fantastic. So. Michael, good to see you again, my friend.
Absolutely, thank you.
Michael Poole. He is with the Lancaster Martial Arts ATA Association here in Lancaster. Don't forget the DVD, Agent G. You can pick one of these up if you attend the free bullying seminar on September 8th. That's from 1 to 3 o'clock. Again, that's where at real quick, Michael?
It's right at our school, 3046 Columbus Lancaster Road. Just give us a call, 740-777-5119 to register.
Fantastic. Or you can catch them out online. That's atalancaster.com. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Miss Kathy, good to see you as well.
Thank you. It's been good being here, Dallas.
Fun stuff today, huh?
It certainly has been.
Big thanks once again to Jason Cordell and his On the Move program. You can catch at 3:30 this afternoon. Coming up tomorrow, Christy Burns from Geneva Hills will be here to talk a little bit about Firelight Fridays coming up. I think that kicks off either in September or October, but lots of cool stuff at the campground. Also, Kelly Fuller from the Eastland Fairfield Career Center will be here for the back half of tomorrow's show. So enjoy today. We'll catch you then. Bye-bye.